Hi guys, so today I'm going to show you how to make your lasagna from scratch. Things you're going to need: onion, chopped tomatoes, tomato paste, lean minced beef, some mixed herbs, carrot, some garlic. You're going to need 100 ml of water, some pepper, sharp knife, chopping board, a frying pan and a saucepan. Okay, but we'll come on to those a bit later. So the first thing you're going to need to do is make sure you've washed your hands, got your apron on and got all your ingredients out, measured and ready to go. So we're going to chop up our onion as our first thing. So remember, we chop root to root using our bridge hold. So chop all the way through. It's a bit of a tough one. Okay, and then we take that end off. Take all the skin off because we don't want any of that skin going in our nice lasagna. Okay, and we're going to chop up our onion really, really tiny today because we don't want huge chunks of onion in our lasagna. So we're going to go, remembering, using our claw and then squeeze together. Remember, don't chop all the way to the end because we want to keep it squeezed together. And then we're going to go along that way. Okay, so we're going to go along, watching our fingers towards that root. Okay, twice. So a third of the way down, and then 2/3 of the way down. This is going to make it nice and fine. And then we're going to go along this way. Okay, so it's going to make it really, really tiny. Remember, the faster you work with your onion, the less likely it is that you're going to have runny eyes and your eyes are going to start stinging. So if it takes you 20 minutes to chop up your onion, okay, your eyes are going to start really hurting. So you're going to do that with both sides of your onion. Then you're going to chop up your carrot. Totally up to you whether you want to peel it or not. Okay, I'm going to peel mine, so I'm just going to peel it over here. Okay, and again, we don't want massive chunks of carrot. Okay, we want all of our veg to be fairly similar sizes. So I'm going to take the skin off. Both my bits of carrot. Remember, we top and tail as well, so take the top off and take the bottom off. So nice thin slices of my carrot. So take the top off, take the bottom off, and then I'm just going to cut nice thin slices as evenly as I can get them. And that last bit. And then I'm going to cut them into quarters. So I'm going to half it and then half it again. So I have it in quarters. Okay, do that with your carrot. All of your bits of carrot. And then we're going to get on to our garlic. So remember, we take the top off of our garlic and we take the bottom off. If you have a garlic crush, happy days, use that. Okay, but I don't have a garlic crush, so I am going to slice this up into small slices. And then I'm just going to, remember, like we did with the chicken Kiev, I'm just going to push it into my chopping board and crush it using the edge of the knife. Okay, so once you've chopped all your vegetables up, we will move on to our next stage. Give it a go. So now that I've chopped up all my veg, I'm going to fry it off in a frying pan. Okay, have it on a low heat so you don't burn it. It doesn't cook too quickly. So my pan has heated up. I'm going to add all my veg in. Don't add too much oil, especially if you have a non-stick pan. So I'm going to fry off my vegetables. So the onion, onion, carrot and garlic have all gone into there. Okay, so move it round. Try not to spill any out. Try and keep a nice tidy workspace. So I'm going to fry that off. So you'll know that it is cooked because the onions will have turned a kind of a lighter opaque colour. Okay, and you'll be able to smell all those nice juices from the onion and the garlic coming through. Okay, so make sure you're moving it around and it's not burning and it's not cooking too quickly. So remember, turn it down if it starts to burn. Okay, it's not a race as to how quickly you can cook something. Okay, it's about those flavours and that taste. So once that has cooked off, you're going to then add your meat. So how do we know if our mincemeat is cooked? Okay, it will be brown everywhere. Okay, it will go from red to brown. Okay, so now that my onions and garlic and carrots have all softened up, I'm going to add my mince. I'm adding 500 grams of mince, and I've kind of doubled everything up because I'm going to feed this to my family. So if you're going to feed your family, okay, remember to double it up as well. Okay, so just break all that mince up as it goes in. So remember, that mince is going to be cooked when it has turned brown. Okay, so just break all that mince up. Mix it in with your vegetables. It should start turning brown fairly quickly. Okay, but don't turn up the heat because we don't want to burn it. Try and keep everything in that saucepan. And then once that meat has cooked off, we're going to add our tomatoes. So our tin of tomatoes and our tomato puree as well. Okay, have a go at that. Okay, so at this point, in my pan I have my meat, my onions, garlic, carrot. I have my chopped tomatoes, my tomato puree, and I've popped in there some mixed herbs and some pepper. You could also, if you wanted to spice it up a little bit, you could put in there some Lea and Perrins, if you wanted to pop that in there too. Okay, just to give it a bit of a zing. So what I'm going to do, I've made sure I've mixed it all together, giving it a good stir, making sure that I've not tried to spill too much around the outside of the pan, and I'm just going to leave it there to simmer for about 15-20 minutes. Okay, I don't want to cook off too much of that juice. Okay, if it starts to become too dry, so all of your juices start to evaporate, you can add your water. Don't add your water just yet, okay, but make sure that you do keep an eye on it so it doesn't bubble too much. If it starts to bubble too much, remember, turn it down, okay, or take it off the heat for a little bit. Okay, but my meat, and make sure it's all gone brown. Okay, give it a little stir every now and again just to mix it round so the bits on the middle cook just as much as they do on the outside. Okay, that's your chance then to leave that where it is. Wash up some bits and bobs if you need to, and then get ready to make your pasta. Okay, for this, we don't mind if you make your pasta, okay, from scratch, which I'm gonna put another clip on for you to follow as to how to make that. Or you can buy pasta sheets. Okay, obviously the pasta sheets is going to be a lot easier for you to do at home, but if you want to challenge yourself to make the pasta to go in your lasagna, then you can follow my video that I'm going to add as well. I'm going to use pasta sheets just to show you how to do it with the pasta sheets. So we'll move on to that step in a minute. So now that my meat has actually cooked, I've just moved it off to one side so I can make my cheese sauce. So in my pan, I have put my butter. I'm going to melt that down on a low heat so it doesn't happen too quickly. Okay, so I've put my butter into my saucepan already. Okay, and I'm just going to melt that down. I already have my flour weighed out, my cheese grated and weighed out as well, and my milk. Okay, because remember, you have to do this all kind of fairly quickly. So my butter is going to melt. Once my butter has melted, I'm going to add in my flour. So remember, once we add in our flour, it's going to turn to a like a roux. Okay, so it's going to go thick Okay, and then once we start adding our milk slowly, it will then become liquid again. So just melting down my butter, making sure it's not burning. Then I'm going to add my flour to make like a paste, and then adding in our milk slowly, okay, for it then to become liquid again. Then once that is all mixed together, okay, I then add my cheese once I've taken it off the heat. Okay, and then remember to leave a little bit to go on the top of your lasagna at the end. So now my butter has melted. I'm going to pour in my flour. I'm going to mix that together nice and quickly. Okay, remember it will turn into a paste. That is fine. So it's turned into a paste. Okay, keep stirring it. And we don't want it to go all lumpy. So stir it all in. And then I'm going to add my milk while I'm stirring. Okay, if you need somebody to help you, that's absolutely fine. Okay, adding in my milk, bit at a time. Keep stirring because we don't want it to go lumpy. So make sure you stir it all the time. Okay, we don't want a lumpy cheese sauce. So keep stirring it. And I'm going to add in the rest of my milk. Okay, so remember, as that heats up, it will start to thicken. Okay, but you need to keep stirring it. Okay, because we don't want it to go thick and lumpy. So we need to turn the heat up a little bit for this now because we want it to boil. Okay, and we want it to bubble. Just going to keep stirring it so it doesn't go lumpy. Then as it starts to thicken, okay, you're going to reduce the heat for a couple of minutes and then take it off the heat to add your cheese. Okay, have a go at that. Brilliant. So I've got my cheese sauce. That is all done, cooked. I added in my cheese and made sure that melted. I've got my meat ready to go in and I've got my lasagna sheets. We're going to layer it up now. So what you're going to do is you're going to have 3 layers. So it's going to be meat, pasta, and then your cheese sauce. Okay, meat, pasta, cheese sauce. And then we're going to pop cheese over the top. Okay, so we're going to make sure that we don't use all our mince straight away. If you can only do 2 layers, then only do 2 layers. Okay, I'm hoping that it's going to be enough for me to do 3 layers. So I'm going to spread all that meat out. I'll just add in a little bit more. So I've got my meat. I'm then going to add a layer of pasta. So squish those right in. If you need to snap your pasta sheets in half, then that is absolutely fine. Okay, try and get them to overlap. So I've got my 3 pasta sheets, and then I'm going to put in my cheese sauce. Okay, so again, making sure I don't just put it all straight in because it's going to be difficult to then take it out. Okay, so make sure you spread it all out. Okay, remember it's easier to add than it is to take away. So if you need to add a little bit more, then do. Try not to drip it all over your parents' kitchen because I'm sure they won't be too impressed. So spread that out nicely. And then we're going to go meat again. Get some meat on there. Rest of my meat, whack it all in. So spread that out. So we've got layers. So we've got meat, pasta, cheese sauce, meat. Try and spread it out as best as you can. Obviously it's going to sink into your cheese sauce, but that is a-okay. And then we're going to add pasta. Cheese sauce over the top. Whack it on there. And then we are going to add some grated cheese just to finish it off on the top. So, there we go. That's that final layer. And then I'm just going to add some more cheese, grated cheese to the top. And then it is ready to go into the oven. So make sure you have popped your oven on to about 180 degrees. Okay, make sure that is hot before you pop this in. Okay, you're going to pop this in for about 20 to 30 minutes. Okay, just so that cheese melts on the top and kind of goes a nice golden brown colour. And then once it's cooked, you can serve it with some garlic bread, some salad, okay? Or you could just have it on its own. But remember, once you've cooked it, send us a picture so we can have a look. Hope you enjoy.